Buddy, a golden retriever with fur like spun sunshine, was the heart of the Miller family. His golden coat gleamed in the sunlight, and his eyes sparkled with joy whenever he was around his beloved family. The Millers had adopted Buddy when he was just a puppy, and from that moment on, he became an inseparable part of their lives. He lived for their laughter. The sound of their joy was music to his ears. Every giggle and chuckle from the Millers made Buddy's tail wag with excitement. He had a special way of making everyone in the family smile, whether it was through his playful antics or his gentle, loving nature. For games of fetch in the backyard, where he would sprint across the grass with boundless energy. The backyard was Buddy's kingdom, a place where he could run freely and chase after his favorite ball. The Millers would spend hours playing with him, their laughter echoing through the air as Buddy brought the ball back, his eyes shining with pride, and for the warm spot by the fireplace. On chilly evenings, Buddy would curl up by the hearth, basking in the warmth and comfort of the fire. The Millers would gather around, sharing stories and enjoying each other's company, with Buddy lying contentedly at their feet, his presence a source of comfort and love. The Millers, in return, adored their furry companion. They showered him with affection, hugs, and gentle pats, always making sure he knew how much he was loved. Buddy was more than just a pet. He was a cherished member of the family, a loyal friend who brought endless joy and happiness into their lives. He was more than just a pet. He was family. Buddy had his own special place in the house, a cozy corner where he could rest and feel safe. The Millers included him in all their activities, from family dinners to movie nights, always making sure he felt like he belonged. Buddy's presence made their home complete, filling it with warmth and love. Every evening they'd walk through the park, enjoying the fresh air and the beauty of nature. These walks were a cherished routine, a time for the family to bond and unwind after a long day. Buddy would lead the way, his tail wagging with excitement as he explored the sights and smells of the park, Buddy's tail wagging a happy rhythm against their legs. His joy was infectious, spreading to everyone around him. The Millers would often meet other families and their dogs during these walks, and Buddy would greet them all with a friendly wag and a happy bark, making new friends wherever he went. The bond they shared was one of pure, unconditional love, a connection that went beyond words. Buddy had a way of understanding the Millers' emotions, offering comfort when they were sad and sharing in their happiness. His loyalty and devotion were unwavering, a testament to the deep bond they had formed over the years, the kind only a dog can offer. Buddy's love was simple and pure, a constant presence in the Millers' lives. He had a special way of making each family member feel cherished and valued, his gentle licks and snuggles a reminder of his unwavering affection. Life was good, filled with simple joys and shared moments of pure happiness. The Millers knew that as long as they had Buddy by their side, their lives would be filled with love and laughter. Together they created a lifetime of memories, each day a new adventure with their beloved golden retriever, Buddy. One sultry summer afternoon, the sky turned an ominous gray. The wind picked up, howling through the trees like a restless spirit. Soon the first drops of rain began to fall, quickly escalating into a raging thunderstorm. The deafening thunder startled Buddy. He cowered, whimpering as a particularly loud clap shook the house. In his panic, he bolted out the back door, disappearing into the storm-ravaged night. When the Millers realized Buddy was gone, their hearts plummeted. Their beloved companion was lost in the storm. The family searched frantically. They called Buddy's name until their voices were hoarse. They put up posters with his picture, their hearts heavy with each passing hour. Neighbors joined the search, their faces etched with concern. Days turned into nights, and still there was no sign of Buddy. Hope began to dwindle, replaced by a gnawing fear. Yet the Millers refused to give up. They clung to the belief that their furry friend was out there, lost and scared but alive. They continued to search, their love for Buddy fueling their determination. Meanwhile, Buddy, driven by fear and disorientation, ran until his paws ached. He found himself in unfamiliar territory, surrounded by the sights and smells of the wild. The storm had subsided, but the fear lingered in his heart. Instinct took over. He sought shelter in the woods, the dense foliage offering some protection from the elements. Hunger gnawed at his belly, but his fear was greater. He missed the warmth of his family, the familiar scent of home. He was lost, alone, and afraid. Days turned into nights as Buddy struggled to survive. The forest, once a place of adventure and joy, had become a realm of shadows and uncertainty. Each night the moonlight cast eerie silhouettes, and Buddy's once strong spirit began to wane. He scavenged for scraps, his once glossy coat now matted and dull. The alleys were unforgiving, filled with the scent of decay and the sounds of distant city life. Every morsel he found was a small victory, but it was never enough to fill the void in his stomach or the ache in his heart. He encountered other animals, some indifferent, some wary. The raccoons and cats he met were survivors too, each with their own stories of hardship. They watched him with cautious eyes, understanding his plight but unable to offer help. In this world, it was every creature for itself. One day, weak and starving, he stumbled upon a young girl playing in her backyard. Her laughter was a stark contrast to the silence he had grown accustomed to. Drawn by the sound, he approached, his legs trembling with exhaustion. The sight of her brought a flicker of hope to his tired eyes. The girl, her heart melting at the sight of the lost and scared dog, offered him water and some of her sandwich. She knelt down, her eyes filled with compassion, and extended her hand. Buddy hesitated for a moment. Then, driven by hunger and desperation, he accepted her offering. The water was cool and refreshing, the sandwich a feast compared to the scraps he had been living on. It was a small act of kindness, but for Buddy, it was a beacon of hope. The simple gesture reminded him of the goodness that still existed in the world. As he drank and ate, he felt a warmth spread through his body, not just from the food, but from the kindness he had been shown. The girl's gentle touch and kind words reminded him of his family, rekindling the embers of hope in his weary heart. Her touch was soft, her words soothing, and for the first time in what felt like an eternity, Buddy felt safe. He leaned into her embrace, his eyes closing as he allowed himself to believe that maybe, just maybe, he had found a new home. The bond they formed in that moment was unspoken but powerful, a testament to the healing power of compassion and love. Fueled by the girl's kindness and a renewed sense of hope, Buddy decided to find his way back home. He had a vague memory of the route he'd taken, of familiar scents and landmarks. He started walking, his nose twitching, trying to catch a whiff of something familiar. He crossed fields and streams, navigated through bustling towns and quiet suburbs. The journey was long and arduous, but Buddy was driven by an unwavering belief. He would find his way back to his family. One evening, as the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the land, Buddy caught a scent that made his heart leap. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was there, the familiar scent of home. With renewed vigor, he followed the scent. It grew stronger with each step, guiding him towards the familiar park where he and his family spent countless hours. His tail, which had drooped for days, now wagged with tentative hope. Could it be? Was he finally close to home? As Buddy emerged from the park, his heart pounding with anticipation, he could hardly believe his eyes. The familiar sights and sounds of the park had been his sanctuary. But now, the thought of reuniting with his family filled him with a renewed sense of purpose. Each step he took was fueled by the memories of the Millers, the family who had loved him unconditionally. He saw them. The Millers were there, their faces etched with worry, still calling his name. "Buddy!" they cried out, their voices choked with emotion. The park had been a place of joy and play, but today it was a backdrop to their anxiety and longing. They had been searching tirelessly, their hearts heavy with the fear of losing a beloved member of their family. Time seemed to stand still as Buddy raced towards his family, his bark a symphony of joy and relief. The world around him blurred into insignificance. All that mattered was closing the distance between him and the Millers. His paws pounded the ground with a rhythm that matched the beating of his heart, each stride bringing him closer to the warmth and safety of his family's embrace. The Millers ran towards him, tears streaming down their faces. Their emotions were a whirlwind of relief, joy, and overwhelming love. They had feared the worst, but now, seeing Buddy running towards them, their hearts soared. The tears that fell were not just of relief but of gratitude for the miracle of this reunion. Their reunion was a tangle of wagging tails, wet noses, and joyous sobs. Buddy leaped into their arms, his tail wagging furiously, his wet nose nuzzling into their hands and faces. The Millers held him close, their sobs mingling with laughter as they showered him with kisses and hugs. It was a moment that transcended words, a pure expression of the bond they shared. Buddy, covered in dirt and leaves, had never felt so happy to be home. The grime and debris were badges of his adventure, but they also marked the end of his journey and the beginning of a new chapter with his family. His eyes sparkled with joy, and his body quivered with excitement as he basked in the love and attention of the Millers. He had found his way back, guided by love, instinct, and an unbreakable bond. As they walked together, the Millers and Buddy, side by side, the world seemed a little brighter, a little more beautiful. The bond they shared was a testament to the power of love and the unspoken understanding between a dog and his family. It was a bond that had been tested and had emerged stronger, a bond that would continue to guide them through whatever challenges lay ahead.